welcome to another episode of the News on Map series. I hope you are now accustomed to how we cover our segments. For those of you who are new, we cover the news which have been there since the past couple of days with the help of maps and multiple choice questions like the prelims examination of UPSC. Let's begin with the practice question of the last segment. Now here we had to match the water body to the territorial sea to which they belonged, and we had to see which ones are correctly matched. First is Barents Sea, that is it a part of the Arctic Sea? Hudson Bay, South Atlantic and Gulf of Riga, Mediterranean. So now we have to see which ones are correctly matched. If we talk about Barents Sea, this is the map that will show you where Barents Sea is. Yes, it is a part of the Arctic. Here is Russia, Finland, Sweden, Norway. And see, littoral states would be Sweden, of course, is not having any borders with Barents Sea. And you see, Norway has a fringing border. This is Russia. Okay. So you see Barents Sea is there, huge covers Russia, hugely covered by Russia. So yes, Barents Sea is a part of the Arctic. Let's see Hudson Bay. Hudson Bay is actually a gulf in, a bay in North America. And it is in the North Atlantic Ocean, not South Atlantic. That makes our second statement, second pair to be incorrectly matched. And if we talk about Gulf of Riga, which is between here, Estonia and Latvia. Here it is a part of the Baltic Sea, not the Mediterranean Sea. So that makes only the first statement to be correctly matched. Congratulations to those of you who have answered it correctly. A is going to be the correct option. 2, the US President recently visited Poland amidst the Russian-Ukraine conflict. So the question says, a man is standing on the coast of the Baltic Sea. Where? In Poland. And he wants to travel in a clockwise direction. This is clockwise direction. Okay. Like this, like the hands of the clock work. Along Poland's international border. Okay. And during this visit, he is also able to see the flora and fauna of Poland's neighboring countries. So what will be the correct order of Poland's neighboring countries? Basically, this is asking us a question about the bordering countries. And because of the presence of so many countries, it might be confusing if you do not know about the correct order of countries. This region, very much in the news because a lot of refugees and migrants from Ukraine, the disturbed region of Ukraine, are moving towards. That is why this region is very important. So here at the Baltic Sea, the person is standing and the person goes along the international borders of Poland. That means here, then here, here, here. Now I will name the countries, don't worry about that. Okay, so that makes us think international bordering countries about Poland. Simple as that. Kalini Grad, that is the region of Russia. Then Lithuania, then Belarus, Ukraine, Slovakia, Czech Republic and Germany. This question very simply asked us about the bordering countries of Poland in the clockwise direction. So that makes us think that first we have Russia, of course. Two options are there with Russia. Then we have Lithuania. Again, two options are there with Lithuania. Then Belarus, correct. Then we have Ukraine, correct. Then we have Slovakia. And then we have Czech Republic. Okay, but not Croatia. So this is of course not the correct answer. Correct answer is option B. Here I try to match the answers with the help of elimination method as well. Okay, let's move forward and talk about the next question. Ukraine's military agency intelligence chief has claimed that Russia wants to divide Ukraine in two parts. Now we have to consider the following statements with respect to Dnieper River. Okay, the river passes through a major wheat producing area of Eastern Europe. This river merges into the Azov Sea and the river forms the international border between Ukraine and Russia. So we have to select the correct statement. Now for that we need the map of Dnieper River. Here it is. This is the Dnieper River flowing from Russia, then Belarus and then Ukraine going to the Black Sea and not the Sea of Azov. So that makes our second statement to be incorrect. Let's eliminate whichever has second, whichever options has second statement in its option. First, the river passes through a major wheat producing area of Eastern Europe. That is definitely correct. So one is correct. So this can be our answer and this can be our answer. This river forms the international border between Ukraine and Russia. No, that's not so because it is flowing from the middle, exactly middle of Ukraine. Okay. So that makes the third statement to be incorrect. Only the first statement is correct now. That is one only, right? Let's move on to our next question. Now let's move on towards Australia's Great Barrier Reef, which is witnessing its fourth mass extinction Since 2016, the Great Barrier Reef of Australia, which is present in the northeastern region of Australia, has been in trouble. And this is for the first time ever when the Great Barrier Reef of Australia is witnessing mass bleaching with, I said mass extinction, it's not mass extinction, it's mass bleaching, when the corals get bleached. So when corals, they expel zooxanthellae, it's called bleaching. Eventual bleaching happens after that. And the bleaching is with respect to La Nina. This is for the first time ever when La Nina is affecting the corals. Okay, let's move forward and talk about our question with respect to that. So we have to consider the statements with respect to Great Barrier Reef. First is, it is located in the Tasman Sea between Australia and New Zealand. The Fiji Islands are located just north of it. We have to select the not correct statement. You see, the Great Barrier Reef is over here. And you see that the Tasman Sea is over here, right? And it is present in the Coral Sea between so many islands. So you see, that makes our first statement to be incorrect. The Fiji Islands are located just north of Great Barrier Reef. Let's see. Here is Fiji. And Fiji is actually to the east of Great Barrier Reef. That makes the second statement to be not correct as well. That makes our both 1 and 2 to be not correct. C is the correct answer. Let's move on to the next question. Now, Australia has recently set up the Defence Space Command to meet its strategic space ambitions and increase its reach in space. Now, we have to consider the following relief features present in Australia and where they are present. Great Dividing Range in Eastern Australia, Bass Strait between Australia and Tasmania, Victoria Falls, Northeastern Australia, and Perth City, which is an area of desert climate. Although it is present in desert, let's see if it has desert climate or not. So, Great Dividing Range, Eastern Australia. Let's see, where is it? Yes, Great Dividing Range, here it is at Eastern Australia. That makes the first match to be correct. Bass Strait between Australia and Tasmania. Let's see, where is Bass Strait? This is Bass Strait. This is the island of Tasmania. And this is Australia. That makes the second pair to be correctly matched. Victoria Falls are not in Australia. They are in Africa, right? Here is Victoria Fall. Let me just find it for you. Yes, here is Victoria Fall in Zimbabwe, near Zimbabwe. That makes the third pair to be incorrect, right? This is not correct. And Perth City has an area, although Perth City is present here at the southwestern end of Australia, but it has Mediterranean type of climate. Remember that. According to Köppen's climate classification, it has Mediterranean climate. So that makes the third pair to be incorrect. Only the first and second are correct. That makes A the correct answer. Alright, let's move forward and talk about our next question, which is with respect to, let's see the news first. Now, recently a rebel group of the Democratic Republic of the Congo has attacked military installations, following which a large number of people have fled to Uganda. Australia, Middle Eastern countries, European countries, always in conflict or in the news for some reason or the other, have an atlas and look at the digital atlas better because more precision is there. So these countries are much more in the news than any other region, these regions. So that is why we are covering these regions very well. This African river, it originates from the Katanga Plateau, which is north of the Kalahari Desert. And then it flows towards north, which is parallel to the Great African Rift Valley. After that, it turns west. Eventually, the river flows in the southwestern direction and then it joins the Atlantic Ocean. Now, this river passes through one of the world's densest rainforests and cuts the equator twice. Such questions which are huge, which you might feel that like we won't be able to solve them because it's huge, so much information. But these are the questions which are the most easy ones. Why? Because so many information is given. Even if you know one to be correct, one sentence to be correct, you can easily answer that. So we have so much information. Let's see. We are actually talking about Katanga Plateau, right? So Congo River is going to be our correct answer. Congo is flowing west from here and then it moves to southwest direction, going south and joins the Atlantic Sea. And it cuts the equator twice because of its turn. And that makes this answer to be correct. Why? Because it passes parallel through the Rift Valley and It joins the Atlantic Ocean after flowing west and then southwest. From the Katanga Plateau, it gets originated, and this makes the Congo River to be the correct answer. Okay, let's move forward and talk about our next question with respect to recently that the US, England and Canada, they have jointly imposed some new sanctions on Russia on the top leadership of the army, including Myanmar's newly appointed Chief of Air Force. They are having their own sanctions with Russia, and then they are having their own sanctions with Myanmar as well. So we have to consider the following pairs. Myanmar is adjacent to the Andaman Sea, Cambodia to Gulf of Thailand, and Vietnam to Gulf of Tonkin. So let's see which of the pairs are correctly matched. This is the map. Now first is Myanmar. This is Myanmar, or erstwhile Burma. Here is the border of Myanmar, okay? And it is adjacent to Myanmar. Myanmar is adjacent to Andaman Sea. Then we have Vietnam. Here is Vietnam, which is adjacent to Gulf of Tonkin. And we have Cambodia, which is adjacent to, this is Cambodia, adjacent to Gulf of Thailand. All are correctly matched. So all are correctly matched. D is the correct answer, 1, 2 and 3. Let's move forward and talk about the next question, which is with respect to, recently India's External Affairs Minister has said that relations with China cannot be normalized amidst the current crises at the LAC. Now, considering the following statements with reference to rivers originating from the Himalayan region, we have to see these statements and see which one of them is or are correct. The Indus River only passes through Ladakh in India. Earlier, when Jammu and Kashmir was a state, now Jammu and Kashmir is a separate union territory, Ladakh is a separate union territory. These kind of questions are very tricky for you. The Teesta River originates from southern Tibet, and Teesta flows only from 3 countries. Let's see. Now here is Indus passing through Ladakh and flowing into Pakistan. That makes the first statement correct. 1 should be the correct answer. So whichever option has 1, we can take them into consideration, eliminating the second B option because it doesn't have 1. Teesta originates from southern Tibet? No. Teesta originates from Chungthung, that is in Sikkim. So near Sikkim, Chungthung, it originates and then it passes through only 2 countries, India and Bangladesh. The third option here, or the third statement here was, this becomes incorrect because as I told you, it originates in Sikkim, Chungthung. The Teesta River flows from 2 countries, India and Bangladesh. So second and third are not correct, only the first is correct. That makes option A to be the correct answer. Let's move forward and talk about the next question, which is with respect to, recently in Pakistan's capital, Islamabad, the government's opponents and supporters, they have land, they are at loggerheads with extensive rallies. Some are in support of the Imran Khan government, others are not. So with respect to that, because Pakistan is our neighboring country, very important one as at that, so we have to know about it. Pakistan's capital, Islamabad, is in the news due to political turmoil. Now, with respect to that, in the context of Islamabad, we have to consider these statements. It is closer to Srinagar than Pathankot. It is located almost at the same longitude on which Jodhpur of Rajasthan is located, and its location is where the 2 branches of southwest monsoon meet. So let's see. Here is Islamabad. It is closer to Srinagar than it is to Pathankot. Yes, the distance between these 2 regions is greater than these 2 regions. That makes the first statement. Let's see. Yes, this is correct. First is correct. It is located on the same longitude as Jodhpur is located. Let's see the next map, which is going to show us the 73° east longitude. Jodhpur is almost located where Islamabad's longitude is passing through. Okay, so this is also correct. Second statement is correct. 1 and 2. 1 and 2, not this, and not this. That makes, from the elimination method, B option to be the correct one. And also, you must know, the location is where the 2 branches of southwest monsoon meet is not correct. Tell me in the comment segment where it happens. So, that makes this question to be complete. Moving on to the next question. Now, a recent census of counting the Indian rhinos is going to take place in, of course, Kaziranga National Park, which found the numbers has increased. The census has already been taken. At Dudhwa, it is going to take place. So, you see, that Indian rhino, very important for India, a species very important for India. We have to know about that as well. So we have to state the national parks below, which are given below, in order from west to east. And you have to know that at Kaziranga, there has been an increase in the number of rhinos. Namdapha, Nokrek, Dibru Sakhova, Kaziranga and Orang. We have to arrange them from west to east direction. Let's see first. This map is going to show you. Now, in Meghalaya, we have Nokrek, the westernmost among the given ones. Then in Assam, we have Orang National Park, also Kaziranga. Then we have Dibru Sakhova, and at Arunachal Pradesh, we have Namdapha. So that makes Nokrek, Orang, Kaziranga, Dibru Sakhova, Namdapha. Let's see. Nokrek, then Orang, 2, 5. Then Kaziranga, 4. Then we have Dibru Sakhova, 3. Then I guess 2, 5, 4, 3. Last we have Namdapha, the easternmost. That makes 2, 5, 4, 3, 1. 2, 5, 4, 3, 1 is like 2, 5, 4, 3, 1. Option B is correct. Okay. Let's move on to the next question, which is with respect to recently Assam and Meghalaya. They have signed an agreement towards ending their border dispute. So we have to consider the following statements with respect to the boundaries of Indian states. Now, Uttarakhand and Haryana share the border. Odisha and Telangana share the border. They are closely related with respect to borders. Actually, Uttarakhand and Haryana do seem like they have a border with each other, as we have to select the not correct statement. Okay, but here you see Uttarakhand and Haryana. Between them we have a very short border with Uttar Pradesh. Okay, so you see that Uttarakhand and Haryana do not have a border. So first is not correct. Okay, so this can be eliminated, this can be eliminated. First is not correct. Odisha and Telangana share the border. Although it looks like Odisha and Telangana do not have a border, but they do have a border. Okay, so keep these kind of questions in mind when there is a very small patch of land that has a border with any state. The correct answer should be A, 1 only. Okay, let's move forward and talk about the next question, which is with respect to the Karnataka High Court's judgment in the context of school uniforms. They said that wearing hijab is not an essential part of the religion, and that is the religion of Islam. Consider the following statements with respect to the tributaries of river Krishna. Bhima is a tributary on its left side. Tungabhadra is the longest among the tributaries on the right side. And the confluence of Krishna and Tungabhadra takes place on the border of Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka. So from that, we have to see which ones are correct. Now Bhima, yes, here is Bhima. That is the left bank tributary of Krishna. That is correct. Tungabhadra is, yes, the longest tributary of Krishna river. That is also correct. Krishna and Tungabhadra, they meet in Telangana, not Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh. So you see, only the first and the second is correct. Third is not correct. That makes option A to be the correct answer. Let's move forward and talk about the next question, which is with respect to, this is for understanding where Tungabhadra and Krishna meet. Not in Andhra Pradesh, but in Telangana. Practice question for the next segment. Now the question says that the region does not belong to the area of Mediterranean climate. Despite this, the rainfall pattern here corresponds to the Mediterranean climate region. However, it is also noteworthy that there is much lower annual temperature difference than in the Mediterranean climate region. The above statements best describe the climatic feature of which place. So we have to select the correct answer with respect to that. That's it for today. Now next time, we will try to bring more questions for you. Until then, stay updated and thank you so much for watching.